everybody, I'm Melinda Gallant. Oh my gosh, do we have a great Cape Conversations today. We are in the hub of Mashpee. Mashpee is a beautiful town which has many locations. However, this is kind of a famous one all throughout the world, really. So come along, let's have another Cape Conversations. Hi everybody, I'm Melinda Gallant. Oh my gosh, where am I today? Well, they let me out of Sandwich and I am now sitting in the middle of one of the most beautiful towns in America, I think. Mashpee Commons, part of Mashpee, Massachusetts, and I am with the developer and I think very cool guy, Buff Chace. Hi, Buff.
Good morning. How are you?
Welcome.
Yeah, thank you.
So, Buff, here we are. We're sitting on this stage. For years, when I worked here, full disclosure, I worked here for 16 years. I wanted a stage like this, and then I left and he built it. How appropriate. But what is it like to be able to see all this come out of the ground so beautifully?
Well, it's wonderful, and of course it's many, many people involved in the creation of it, and we're just trying to be something that reads like Cape Cod historically did, and be a place that provides community, a community center for this town and this region, and as well as the resources of shopping for various things and eating. Sure. And other types of things, the movie theater, etc. So, yeah, so it's going well. The thing in Mashpee, as you know, and probably in Sandwich as well, and the Cape in general, is housing. And
yes,
so the question
huge
is,
issue. How
can we build more housing across the income spectrum so that it's
right.
So the townspeople can live here, the people that work here can have can live here.
Right.
And
right.
But in this day and age, figuring out those problems is difficult. So we're trying to do it, and we're hoping, little by little, we're successful.
Well, I came here in 1987, but you actually started the Mashpee Commons portion of the old, changing it over from the old New Seabury Shopping Center, early 80s or late 70s?
Early 80s, but the actual special permit was received in 86, so only a year before.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that. Well, you were the fourth person I met here,
But that's 40 years ago, my
I
friend.
know.
Yeah.
I know.
So,
isn't it funny we haven't gotten any older?
So anyway, and over the years, people were hesitant to support this place and didn't understand. We didn't articulate the vision sufficiently for everyone to get behind it. But
they have.
They have, and I wouldn't say everyone, but
you've always got your naysayers.
Yeah, and particularly. Well, anyway, we got an award recently for life accomplishment or something from the Congress for New Urbanism. Yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And so that was rewarding. But we're always looking ahead. My daughter is now in the business, running the business.
Is that Sarah?
Sarah.
Yeah. Nice.
Sarah Cotter, and so she also is pushing it ahead as some of us are getting a little bit older.
No.
Yeah, we're still involved in the the dialogue around the country about how to build mixed use, mixed income community centers.
Well,
and this is one of the places that people point to as an example of it. So.
Well, it's really funny. As I said, I come from Sandwich, and a lot of the people, watch
Sandwich is a wonderful place.
It's a wonderful place. It's beautiful, bucolic. We have high taxes because we don't have very much commercial there. We don't have anybody, helping out that tax base. And I think so many times they'll say, I used to hear this all the time, not so much now. But there was the Golden Triangle on 130, and why don't we just build a Mashpee Commons there? As if step your fingers and there it is. And as you well know, it is not like that. There were some hard times in the beginning here with, leasing space and all of that.
It was a new old concept.
Right, because towns used to be built like this, right?
Yeah. Well, the automobile you know, everyone needed to provide for the automobile, as that was a priority, and then people lived different, you know, outside of town, so they needed to commute by car, and
Right.
and then zoning came in the 50s and 60s and tried to separate uses. It was a sort of a
Like you
organization.
can live here, but you can shop
Right,
here
right.
and work over here.
Right. And then it took a while before people realized that, well, they were missing something. We're missing people knowing each other in the community. We're missing people
Yeah.
just running into each other, you know, unplanned, and
Right.
the social interaction was reduced. And so in the 80s, actually, we were able to benefit from the understanding that going back to the beginning in some ways of, and particularly on the Cape, you know. So why do people come to the Cape? Well, they come to the Cape obviously for the place,
Right.
the beauty of the natural beauty of the proximity to water and stuff, but they come for the historic Cape towns.
Absolutely.
So why can't we use that as the model rather
Absolutely.
than the zoning for the automobile? And so that's been the dialogue that we've been in. And after 40 years, this place represents an example of that, and hopefully allows for future development on the Cape to, in some ways, benefit from this example. So that's exciting, and then we just need to build more housing, because we want people not to be tied to their automobile. You know, we
Oh, I
want them
agree.
to be able to walk.
You have a lot of people right now that live in the apartments here and work as, you know, retail people,
Right.
servers, chefs, the whole
Right.
9 yards.
Right, and seniors who are,
And seniors.
retired. Right, I'm in that department too. But
I'm not here yet, but I'm working on it.
Well, the other project we did after this was in downtown Providence, Rhode Island, the old historic commercial street called Westminster Street. And we took the old department stores and turned them into housing, and we used a program that's similar to 40B, which is the state program we've used here, which has a mixture of incomes as a requirement
Yes.
of it. And so what you get is a mixed income people, but also a mixture of ages. Particularly during COVID, when people were kind of locked up to
Yeah.
an extent, that
Yes.
people helped out each other.
Sure,
you know,
they did, yeah.
And that was really one of the testaments to the value of community building. So anyway, as I'm approaching the end of my career, I'm hoping that what we've accomplished at Mashpee Commons and what the next wave will be will help not only Mashpee, and Sandwich already has this to a large degree, but still the zoning is antithetical to it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep, it is.
So we have some commercial land undeveloped adjacent to this, and we want to build housing on it. We don't want to build a commercial on it, but there's
Right.
not an easy path to doing that.
No. Well, here's the thing: there's always people, and I've lived here 46 years on the Cape, and from the day we moved here, it was not in my backyard. NIMBYs, you know. No, we can't do that. Instead of how do we do this or can we do this, it's we can't do that because I don't want anything to change, and I think we both know that people really sometimes oppose change. Certain people. I think what makes this the best is that this has all been changed for the good. What you said you were going to do 40 years ago, you've done.
Right.
And
Well, that's what I was going to comment, is the change isn't necessarily bad. It doesn't have to be bad. It can be good.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, because of this thing I mentioned earlier, which is the zoning requiring things to be in different pots, so to speak, kind of separated everything, and we lost a dynamic of village, a dynamic of community center.
Right.
And if we can just get that back, I think that'll be great for the communities, and it's a learning process.
Sure. For everybody.
Yeah, yeah.
For even the townspeople, I think.
Right, and the people that were worried, well, the reason they were worried is because they'd see a strip come along, and all of a sudden the place that they had grown up in was, you know, just an automobile corridor, and you know, with big parking lots and stuff.
Right.
But there are other ways of doing it, and that's what new urbanism. This is an example of a good example of new urbanism, which was developed in the '80s, and
Is that Andres Duane?
Andres Duane, yeah, and he. So the story about it is, if you want me to go into it,
Absolutely,
yeah,
I would love to hear it. They would love to hear it.
So it was early '80s. I was given
A young man.
I was given responsibility for what was going to happen to the New Seabury Shopping Center, which had been built as a convenience center for the New Seabury development, which
Right.
had started in the '70s. A supermarket, hardware store,
Right.
that type of thing, and but it was more tied to that as opposed to necessarily. It was a benefit to the town of Mashpee, but it didn't read Mashpee. It was called
Yeah, New Seabury
New Seabury Shopping Center. So it was that time Andres and his wife Liz had designed a new town in the panhandle of Florida called Seaside.
Right.
And they it was published in Architectural Digest, I think, or Progressive Architecture, and I got a copy of that book and I read about it, and it was kind of what I was thinking about here. And then I called them up and we went down. I went down to they were in Coconut Grove is where their offices were, and we bonded. And I went to Seaside and seen what they'd done there with that developer, and it was really the first kind of step back to this mixture of uses, mixture of people, mixture of incomes even. And so we use that as the model for this. And
it worked.
well, it worked, but it was, once again, it was met with some concern. It doesn't follow zoning, you know.
Right. Well, because they made zoning to be typical
yeah.
from the 50s.
Right.
Which is houses here, retail here,
Right.
work there.
Right. It was very, what do they call it? Very, I can't think of the word, but it was compartmentalized. Things were compartmentalized,
Sure.
and you could understand the thinking about, oh, well, I want this there and that there.
Yeah.
So not to make it confusing, but the idea of community is that it's confusing, and things come up that are actually
That's right.
beneficial
Yeah,
to the
that's right.
community,
Absolutely
beneficial
right.
to the people that are living there.
Right.
Connections, you know, you run into somebody at the post office. We were very lucky. One of the first things we were able to do was to talk the post office into moving down here. So just the people coming to get their mail and running into each other created conversations, created connectivity. And so, hey, listen, we were just, we weren't the primary group. We were just trying to facilitate this sort of natural behavior amongst people.
Sure. And all the things that went into it in what I call the old days, the old days of Mashpee Commons, from everything from having a library here,
Right.
for giving and then for having, rest his soul, Monsignor Tosti,
Right.
put the church here.
Right.
Although I never will forget, he said to me once, well, I wanted a brick church, but they didn't want it. I thought a brick church really wouldn't have gone here. You know, it was that he wanted that Catholic look, I think. And it's a gorgeous,
And
my
then we
goodness.
put the common in front of it.
Yeah, it's just
and
so
the
gorgeous.
Library, and
Yeah.
hopefully, over time, there'll be housing built around the other two sides of the common.
Right.
And a hotel. We're hoping at some point there'll be a hotel interested, you know, and we are talking to an individual company that is interested in building a hotel. And you know
wonderful.
what? The great thing about it is that, so I said, well, there will be a restaurant there, and they said, no, we're just thinking about rooms and some gathering places. But he said, we want the people that are in the
To
hotel
go.
to come down and
There you go.
and eat their meals
There's your
in
man.
the village. Yeah,
Or woman, whoever they
yeah,
are.
both.
Both.
Yeah, but you know, it's like getting into the what it takes to make
Sure.
it. Well, once you let your creative part go,
Right.
then everybody knows kind of intuitively this
Well,
is what
I mean,
a nice place is. You know?
right. Well, and all the things that we were fortunate when I was here, fortunate to provide for the community with concerts, and everybody would scratch it. Why are you doing these? Well, because you know what? They all came, and it really helped. I think put all of us on the map.
Right,
I really
right.
did. The big concert with the symphony, with the Paul Winter consort. People were just blown away with that, and
Right.
all the good things that you have done. You've helped the Children's Museum so much. I was on the board there for a while, and I just went off a year ago or
Threw you
so.
off. Yeah.
Yeah, they threw me off.
Yeah.
They said, "Oh, we don't want her on here anymore."
I doubt that.
Actually, it was the drive from Sandwich. Plus, all my grandkids now. My youngest grandkid is 19,
Oh,
so
okay.
it's
So,
like I'm kind of outgrown.
Anyway, the Children's Museum is a great.
Oh,
great
it's
thing, yeah.
great. It's wonderful, wonderful. And what you did even just paving the parking lot. Holy smokes, what a difference that made. Terrific.
Yeah.
All good
Anyway,
stuff
we've
from
got to
you.
think about the future of the Children's Museum. Where should it still be there? Should it move up closer to the center of town?
Right.
I mean, it's like the library is also. I passed by today and the parking lot was entirely full
Yeah,
at the
it
library.
is.
I'm
It
not quite
is.
sure what was going on, but the fact that it's a place that brings people
Vital.
together.
And do you remember when they were trying to get it built, people said, who would use a library? They did.
Particularly now in the age of the
Well, in the age of having your computer really in your hand,
right.
and you can look anything up, and yet people crave to go to places where there's
where there are
community.
people. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
think we've made that point.
I
today.
know, but I keep making it over and over.
Right, you have to remind yourself.
Well, I think I think we have to remind people. I think people take for granted the fact that this beautiful place is here. Oh, they come and shop. Don't misunderstand me. And if I see one more review about Blue being the best restaurant on Cape Cod, winning an award, of course, I love Frederick, but seriously, it is something that is so vital to the community. And so when you get ready to do something else, which has always been in the plan, it's always surprising to me that people will say, wait a minute, I don't know, do we really want this? And I know people change and times change, however.
And needs change.
It needs change.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
But-
and adding to it, so.
So anyway, well, we're in good shape. It's going well. We're basically fully leased, and
That isn't because of John Renz, the leasing guy, is it?
maybe slightly, but the housing too.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we just need to build more capacity, and I mean, we don't build unless there's demand,
Right.
right? So it's not like you put it out there, and there has to be either a tenant that you're trying to persuade. Like, for instance, the movie theater.
Right.
The movie theater was a huge smash for years and stuff,
Yeah.
but now people aren't going to the movies as much.
Right.
So
COVID did that.
So how do we just hang in there hoping that it comes back, or do we put fancy seats in there so you can get a drink and stuff like that? And some places have done that, but it's still the jury's out as to what
Whether that
the new
works.
paradigm
Right.
will be. But the idea of having a place to go and have entertainment, it's just like you were saying with the music and stuff. People
We've
do
even
like
had
that.
Shakespeare on this stage, which is wonderful.
Yeah. Well, anyway,
So, all of that said, so you're building you're building some more apartments, correct?
it's a co-venture
Yeah.
with a company that is the actual builder,
Uh-huh.
and we put the land up, and we have allowed them access to our wastewater treatment facility.
Oh, great. Because now you can hook in
Others. Yeah,
to it.
yeah.
Because before it was against state law or something?
Well, I think it's because we still have ownership and
I see.
yeah,
I get it.
and
Yep.
It's complicated, but we were able to do that.
That's great.
And so there'll be 60 units that are being built now, I think in 11 buildings, and then there's a phase 2 of a similar size.
Wonderful.
But it's also difficult. One of the reasons housing is so expensive is because it's for people to buy is because it's gotten so expensive to build.
Right.
So,
Right.
you know, how we figure that part out, whether we've worked with some modular buildings here, which brings the price down somewhat.
Yeah.
And that's just an industry in this part of the country that's just getting going and getting accepted as a part of the solution. But so early days of that. I mean, and then I talked to an architect the other day who's done these buildings, and he's a very, top architect, and they work a lot on the Cape. And I said, Don, I said, the only thing is that the buildings are starting to look alike, you know.
Yeah. Wow.
And I said, that was okay when it was a Cape Cod, you know, a half Cape or a three-quarter Cape or a Cape, but it was a Cape.
Right.
So we got to make these things look like they're located on the Cape. If someone takes a picture of them in front of their house, oh, there's their house, and it's clearly on the Cape, you know.
Right.
And it's just the details of the pitches, you know, the way the windows are trimmed and stuff like that.
Right.
So, because that's what we're proud of.
Absolutely.
Proud of this wonderful place, and we just need to lift ourselves up, lift it up, and continue to make it wonderful.
Well, I do have a question. Are you ever going to build, because we've talked about this off camera stuff, about what in Germany are called widows' homes? They're like tiny homes, right? Have you ever thought more about that?
Yeah, we have. I don't think they're called that in this country. It's a senior living component, you know, how to either have singles or doubles, and you know,
or for single people, or just married couples, no kids.
Yeah, and we have a lot of seniors in our existing housing, but we're definitely. And we worked with a company to build some senior housing along Great Neck Road South.
Oh, great!
But it's once again, I am a proponent, and this is not for really older people, but a proponent of those people being able to live in the village, be able to walk on the common, be able to interact, and the paradigm of senior housing sort of means that implies anyway that it's just seniors.
And it shouldn't really. It
well,
needs to be. It needs to be communal.
Yeah.
That word again.
Yeah. Well, I mean, both work, but the new model of that is not fully. It's in development, but not fully realized.
Right. Well.
So you know, one of the things is that doing development is so difficult.
Yes, it is.
Because of the reasons you mentioned, the NIMBYism, that it tends to not be a very attractive thing for people to enter into, because you know there must be something easier to do, or you have to be kind of a jerk, and just to get through the system.
Right.
Whereas, why is that? You know, the people that built these wonderful towns in Sandwich and others were just builders.
Chatham.
They were builders. They lived there. They built houses for their family on the same street or whatever. You know, somehow we've got to get back into that understanding, and then make it easier for small builders, et cetera, to be able to do it. Right now, it all goes the other way. It's like bigger and bigger is better, because of the whole thing of getting the permits is so complex and difficult. So anyway, I know that this is a complex problem. We're not going to solve this today.
No, but I'm ready for a tiny house whenever you start.
Okay.
I'll buy the first one or rent the first one.
Okay, is that on record?
That's on record, yes. Yeah. It's actually on air. Joe doesn't know this yet. We live in a tiny house, so moving would not be an issue for us. Not from a giant house to a tiny house. But I would love to live here and be able to walk to everything. I just think it's wonderful.
Well, before we go, I just wanted to say Melinda is largely responsible for the community, the feeling here of
That's funny. Love
no,
ya.
it's true. It's true. So hats off to you, my friend,
Well,
for
thank you,
your
thank
good
you.
work here in this community
you.
over the years.
Mashpee Commons was very, very good for me. And sometimes I think to myself, why in the heck did I go when I did? But it was time. It was time for new people to come in and do those things now.
Yeah.
And now they
Yeah.
have, which
Yeah.
is great.
Yeah.
So, Buff, thank you so much for doing this. I know how much you love to be on camera and talk about stuff. But you know what? You're really good at it. And my gosh, I think the everyday person at 4 o'clock in the morning watching this show will understand exactly what you're talking about.
Before they've woken up. You
Before
mean.
they,
Yeah.
that's right.
Yeah.
Or those people that see me in the grocery store and go, "You're that woman that had that show." And I went, "Yeah, that's
Well,
me."
thank you for the interview, and I hope we made it understandable.
I think
both
we did.
what we've created, the process, and how, and sort of encouraging people to use this, what we've done, as an example of what can be done going forward.
And it's true. And they don't need to build another one in Sandwich. They just need to take Sandwich and do something creative with it. You know, that's
Well,
it.
a lot of the big commercial things are closing, so there's
Yeah.
an opportunity there with those buildings to convert it.
Absolutely.
That the buildings on Westminster Street in Providence were all department stores that were
Right.
completely vacant, and now we have nearly 500 units of housing down there.
That's wonderful.
Yeah,
Great.
yeah.
Well, congratulations.
All right.
Good to see you.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you. Arnold B. Chace Jr., Buff Chace. Wow, what a developer. His foresight and his vision for this area is really quite astonishing. And when everybody starts complaining, remember, this is how they used to build towns. You worked below, you lived above. And also, what he said 40 some years ago, he's actually done. So that gives him a pretty good track record, I think. In any case, it's a lovely place, Mashpee Commons. It was great to hear about where he's been, where his vision is going. And you know what? I'll see you next time on another Cape Conversations.